Good morning, everyone. This is Tara Harper. I'm coming to you all live today about the quality and improvement study that we're going to be doing today. So I'm writing some things down, so give me just a minute. And so what we're doing, we're going to study over a few techniques here, a few of the questions. And again, I have the 2006 Miranda Johns book, and I also have, um, the 2006 Kathleen Latour book. So we're going to be studying from both of those books today. Okay, so I'm writing, I'm making note. Today is the 5th of April. Okay. Let me see, sweetheart. Oh, I gotta move this telephone over a little bit because I'm recording by phone and I'm also recording by YouTube. Yay. Okay. So, in the 2009 PRG, and we already discussed the 2009 PRG is pretty much what everyone on this team that I've been mentoring and tutoring, we've all been teaching each other from, either from the 2008 to the 2012 current. And so the questions in some books are different, some books are the same. So I'm just putting it out there to you guys, okay? All right. Number one, in quality performance improvement, my number one in my 2009 PRG says, what process assists a healthcare facility in continuously looking at the ways that problems develop? What process assists a healthcare facility in continuously looking at the ways that problems develop and seeking ways to prevent problems from happening in the future? Is it done by risk management process? Is it done by quality control process? Is it utilization management process? Or is it performance improvement process? Again, the question says, what process assists a healthcare facility in continuously looking at ways uh, that problems develop and seeking ways to prevent problems um, from happening in the future. Okay, and so it gives the choices: risk management, quality control, utilization management, and performance improvement. And the answer here is D. And so let's look in the Johns book. It says it's in the Johns book on page 555. So let's look at that. Let me get rid of some of these other books that I have here before everything falls over. Okay, great. Okay, so page 555 in the Miranda Johns book, it says, okay, it says that performance improvement is intended to improve the quality and delivery of healthcare services. The traditional approach to ensuring quality had to view it as the absence of defects. In other words, quality was defined as performance that has attained predetermination level of acceptability. Specific indicators help organizations to determine whether they have reached that particular level. So basically, it has indicators to keep from having problems to develop or to seek ways to prevent problems. And that's what that's what performance improvement does. Performance improvement. That's what that does. I'm sorry about that. I'm looking pretty raggedy here this morning. Okay. So, the answer is for number 1 is performance improvement, which is D as in David. D as in David. So we're going to write this down that number 1 is D. So everyone in agreement that number 1 is D? Okay, super. Okay, number 2. The primary source document used in quality assessment monitoring is admission and discharge register, procedure index, medical records, or diagnosis index. The primary source document used in quality assessment monitoring. The primary source document. What is the first document? Think about it. What is the first document used in quality assessment monitoring? Is it admission and discharge register? No. Is it procedure index? No. Is it diagnosis index? No. Or medical records? Ding, 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 ding. Medical records. Okay, again, let's look in the John's book on page 398. 398. Okay. Okay. The health record is considered a primary data source because it contains information about a patient that has been documented by professionals who provided care or services to the patient. Data taken from the primary health record entered into the registries and databases are called secondary source. But that statement doesn't matter. What matters is the health record is considered the primary data source because it contains information about a patient that has been documented by professionals who have provided care or services for that patient. So for number two, we all can agree that two is C as in cat, and the health record or the medical record is the primary source of where they make their quality assessment monitoring. Okay? All right, number three, the Blood Usage Review Committee has quality monitor established to review all blood transfusion reaction cases. The HIM director will be working with the committee to identify and abstract patient outcome information for committee evaluation. What data should be collected? Should it be effects of the transfusion reaction, such as rash, to different types of death, and etc.? Should it be type and cross match accuracy? Should it be justification for all the transfusion, or all of the above? The Blood Usage Review Committee, the BURC, Blood Usage Review Committee, has a quality monitor established to review all blood transfusion reactions cases. The HIM director will be working with the committee to identify and abstract patient outcome information for committee evaluation. What data what data should be collected in this evaluation? And again, it has listed A, B, or C choices. And of course, it has D, all of the above. The answer is D as in David, all of the above. So when you're getting ready to review patient outcome information for the Blood Usage Review Committee, and you are the HIM director, you must make available make available in the collection of data the effects of transfusion reaction, type and cross-match accuracy, and justification of the transfusion. All of those elements listed in this particular question is well needed. Okay, so just think about that. You are the HIM director. You're going to work with the Blood Usage Review Committee, and so you're bringing all this data, but pertinent things they're going to look for in this data. And again, they're going to look for effects of transfusion reaction, whether a person broke out in a rash, maybe they had some sort of difficulty in accepting the transfusion and possibly outcomed in death, uh, the different types, blood types, and the cross match accuracy, if there were any legitimate matches or were there any contradictory, something may have happened, type matches. And what was the real reason for the transfusion? And I'm sure, just like any other surgery, there are certain variables that must be met before the surgery actually takes place. And it's the same way with blood transfusion. Everything, as I used to tell my students once before, documentation is everything. I can't say it enough. Documentation is everything. Yes. And so in this, it's a great big deal. So D, as in David, all of the above justifies the answer for number 3. Okay, we're going to go for one more. We're down to 11 minutes in the recording of YouTube. And then after number 4, we're going to wrap it up for this segment. As supervisor of the record completion function of the HIM department, you are asked for record completion statistics for specific physicians who are being evaluated for reappointment to the medical staff. Which of the following information elements would you report for each physician? Would it be the physician education and training? Would it be the number of delinquent records? Would it be state license expiration date? Would it be prior physician malpractice claims history? Which would you choose? As supervisor of record completion, as supervisor of record completion, supervisor record completion. That's why even myself, I fall lack into scanning through questions too quickly before I answer them. So this is why I'm talking like this, okay? I'm not talking to you like as if you're kindergarten and you don't know what you're saying or you don't know what you're doing. That's not my point. I'm doing this for me as well as someone else that may need this. Okay, as supervisor of record completion function of the HIM department, clue, you are asked to record completion statistics in the record department of the HIM department. Okay, for some specific physicians who are being evaluated for reappointment to the medical staff. Now, this has nothing to do with their license. That's not what the record completion function is in the HIM department. They have nothing to do with his license. They have nothing to do with his education. They have nothing to do with his training. They have nothing to do with any of his uh, malpractice claims to get him reappointed. But what the supervisor of the records department is looking for is the number of delinquent records. That's all she needs to be concerned about. Pay attention to the question. So B as in boy, the number of delinquent records, dealing with records in a job status toward doctors. They need to make sure, were they warned to put in a signature? Were they questioned, why was this procedure done? Or why was this, requested? Or are you sure we have looked at this outcome of the blood test that was done that you requested? Are you sure it matches the need for this surgery? That's what the HIM records department is all about. It's all about quantitative and qualitative analysis, making sure that everything has its check and balances. Okay? And so if you've given this to the doctor and he has not done his job to complete it, then checkmate, you're incomplete, and that's another doodle on your list to count against you, or for you to count against the physician. So therefore, the answer is B. The number of delinquent records is the information element that you report for each physician when requested of you, the supervisor of the records completion department of the HIM. Okay, this completes this segment for the YouTube recording. I'm going to stop it right here. We have done number 1 through 4, and I will pick it up through the next 4 questions. Thank you so much.